If you've recently got yourself out of lower back pain, let's say you've gone from a 7 or more out of 10, and now your pain is reducing down towards a 3 or a 4 out of 10. This is the most important phase you're entering, and perhaps the most risky for you as well. And the reason it's risky is because this is the stage where you start to forget that you've had a back problem and you start going on with your daily life as you were before. And what you're not doing is perhaps strengthening it. So then you end up doing something like lifting something into your trunk of your car, and then your back goes again. So this is such an important phase. Now, I talk about phases. This is phase 3 out of my 3-phase framework. Phase 1 is all about just calming the pain, reducing the pain and the inflammation. As the pain and inflammation comes down, you start moving into phase 2, which is to improve your flexibility and mobility. Once you've done that for a period of time and your pain has come down to a 3 or a 4, you enter into phase 3, which is about building strength and stability. This, in my opinion, is the most important phase. And we're all guilty of it, myself included, not strengthening fully. But the problem with that is that at some point down the line, the back will continue to go, and it will keep going through this pattern of pain, spasm, rest, recover, and repeat. So in today's video, we're going to go through some really simple but effective exercises going to help you start to strengthen your lower back in order for you to keep progressing along phase 3. I'm going to break this down into different movements. So we've got flexion, we have side bending, we have rotation, and we have extension of the lower back, the lumbar spine. The exercises I'm going to go through are the typical exercises I would go through with my patients. If you want to fast forward to the exact movement or exercise, they're all on the screen just here. So when I start introducing strength to my patients, I like to start taking them through isometric exercises. Isometric basically means you're keeping the muscles in the same length while under tension. An example of this would be something like a plank. What we're going to start doing is keeping the lower back in this neutral position. And we're going to start loading it, and we're going to start using resistance against a certain direction of force. As you then get stronger, you will then start progressing the exercises. You can't just rely on these exercises alone forever. You have to start progressing them. And there are other videos on my channel which do go into those exercises too. But for today, this is just starting to get into that phase 3, the strength building. So we're keeping everything neutral. So starting off with flexion or anti-flexion. So something is wanting to pull us down this way. So we're wanting to start engaging these muscles in the lower back. Now, just before we go into these exercises, if you are not in phase 3, if you're not entering into phase 3 to build the strength, if you still need to go through the flexibility or you're still in acute pain, this is not the time to start strengthening your muscles. If you do, I guarantee you're probably going to make the problem worse. So you have to be in the right phase. So the first and perhaps the easiest exercise to do is a front hold. Here I've got a medicine ball. You could use a backpack filled with water bottles or weights. You could use anything that involves some weight. And all you do is you pick it up off perhaps something fairly high so you don't have to overbend. Grab it and bring it into your chest and hold in this position. Try and draw your abdominals in towards your spine and hold for about 30 seconds. And then you can pop it down, have a rest, and then repeat. So then you pick it up, hold, and rest. Now the reason why this one is perhaps the easiest is because the weight is so, first of all, light in this case, but also so close to your chest. So it's not really pulling you too far forward. So a medicine ball hold. The next exercise would be a 45-degree back extension hold. Now this you can progress in so many different ways. So if you have access to a gym that has one of these, that is probably the best thing that you can do. Here, I've set the hip pads quite high. So if I'm really just starting out with building some strength, the simplest would be to have your chest or your lower rib cage on the pads and just hold in this position. You could then try and lift your shoulders and hold. Now, this is really, really basic, really, really simple. So if you wanted to increase that, then you would get your feet into it and have the pad come slightly lower. So now the pad is on my abdomen, but there is still some resistance, and you would build up to about 30 seconds holding in this position. This is super basic. If that's even causing you some pain, then you can put your hands on the handles and just assist yourself here and get used to holding in that position. As that starts to get easy, the next step would be to lower the pad and have it more on hip height. So there's a bone just here at the top of your pelvis. I would have the top of the pad just below those bumpy bits, and then work on holding in this position here. Again, building that from maybe 10 seconds and then building it all the way up to 60 seconds as a hold. Now, if you don't have access to a 45-degree back extension, you can come down onto the floor, lie down, chest facing down, and then from here, lift your chest off the floor and hold. As that starts to get easier and you can hold that for more than 30 seconds, then you can start bringing your hands up to the side of your head and doing the same thing, up and hold. As that gets easier, you can then have your arms out in front of you, up and hold. I would start with about 10 seconds and gradually build that up over time to 60 seconds. Okay, now moving on from there, you could start doing a plank. Plank is not one of my favorite exercises for the lower back. And the reason is because sometimes people can get the position wrong in their lower back. So if you are going to try it, then make sure your lower back is curled this way and not this way. So when you're starting out with the planks, come onto your elbows and then knees. From there, lift your lower back and try and get it straight. Tuck your tailbone under and make sure your abs are pulled in towards your spine. From there, once you get good at that and you can hold easily for 1 minute, you can then progress into the full plank. But another reason I don't love this is because it's quite heavy on the shoulders. So if you've got some shoulder issues, you could potentially put a little bit more strain on the shoulder as well. So just be careful with the plank. But again, start on the knees, build that up to 1 minute, then progress into full plank, starting at around 15-20 seconds and building that up to 1 minute. So now moving on, this one is to strengthen the deeper core muscles, similar in a way to a plank, I guess. You are going to lie down on your back, and with your lower back, make sure that's not arching. So push that down into the floor. Some people call this dead bugs. Some people just call this a TVA exercise. Bend your knees, bring your feet up towards your bum. And then I like to get my patients putting one hand under the arch of their lower back. And the reason is because then I get them to press down on their hand so they get that sensory feedback of the lower back trying to squash the hand. From there, what I get them to do is bring one knee up towards the chest, keeping that pressure on the hand. I then get them to lower the heel down to the floor, but maintaining focus on the hand and not letting the lower back lift off the floor. So down towards the floor, touch with the heel, and then come back up. I would get them doing reps of 10 or sets of 10 reps, I should say. Once they can do that easily, I progress them into then doing 2 feet off the floor, but lowering 1 foot at a time, making sure not to extend the leg because that makes it a lot harder. So keeping the knee at the same angle, lowering down, touch the floor and up. They could alternate like this. And as that gets easier, then they can start doing it with 2 legs and then up. I would do sets of 10 reps, 10 on both sides if you're doing 1 leg at a time. Start with 1 foot on the floor, lifting the other foot up and down, then go to 2 legs off the floor, and then both legs up and down at the same time. So now we're moving into anti-side bending type movements, isometrics, to counter this side bend type work. Before I would do that though, I'd make sure that my patients are used to being compressed. So they'd be holding 2 weights on either hand. So for example, I would just get them walking with a weight like this, perhaps walking with control, or if there's not enough space, then we might start doing some marching on the spot, just making sure to engage the core, try not to shift too much side to side. And once my patients are comfortable with that, then we can start going into the single-sided stuff. For the 2-legged or 2-handed, but marching kind of things, I would get them doing about 20 steps. So it'd be about 10 on each side, just to make sure they're comfortable with that before moving on to the single-handed stuff. So now we move into the single-handed farmer's walk type movements. So from here, you're simply picking up a weight, and I just get my patients to hold for up to 30 seconds. Once they've done 30, I then get them to change sides. Hold that for 30 and repeat for the set number of sets that they want to do. For example, 2 sets or 3 sets. You can progress this by adding heavier and heavier weights, or you can progress it by adding longer durations. I like to go longer first and then start going heavier. Once you could do this with 1 hand, static holds, I then go into static hold marches. From here, making sure you're not shifting. Everything is tight, lifting 1 leg at a time. And I get them doing 10 steps per side. Now, as you start getting better at this variation down here, you can then start experimenting with having the load in different places. So if you're holding a kettlebell, you can have the load up here in the chest, and you could practice your walks like so, or you can just stay static and do single leg marches. Again, making sure your core is tight and everything is controlled. Again, 10 reps per side, that's 1 set. Build that up to 3 sets of 10. Now coming back onto the 45-degree back extension machine, this is a great way to start adding in more load because we're now doing a different angle. So if you do have access to one of these, get yourself in. This is the standard way of doing it. So once you're in this position, all you have to do is rotate your feet and shift your hips in towards the middle of the pads. From there, hold this position and start with 10 seconds only, and then come off and then do the other side. As you get more comfortable with doing 10 seconds, build that up gradually to doing 60 seconds at a time. Once you can comfortably do that for 60 seconds, you could, if you wanted, perhaps add in some extra weight, so dumbbells or a small plate, and do the same thing if you wanted to make it even harder. So now we're moving on to rotation. Rotation is a little bit more difficult to do if you don't have equipment. Right now I've got my Freak Athlete set up with the leg extension attachment or the leg developer attachment and the upper body kit attached to that. Basically, we're going to do a exercise called a Palloff press. And what this is you're resisting this rotational force here. So I have a weight. Now this could be a cable for you. This could be a resistance band attached to a wall or a tree or a post. So the strap is being pulled this way. I'm going to turn, so I'm 90 degrees to it, perpendicular to it, and I'm going to start with my hands in my chest. I always like to start with the furthest hand on the handle first, and then other hand just keeping it in place on top. From here, engage your abs, squeeze your glutes, chest up, and then with your hands, you push out in front of you. You hold, and you come back in. Now you could either do this as pure holds, like this, and hold that for a period of time, or you could do it for reps. So you push out and back in, out and back in. Now this exercise looks ridiculously easy because nothing is moving. I know you probably can't see it, but the developer is not going up and down. The reason why it is actually working is because the further I go away from my body, the longer this lever becomes, so the easier it is for weight to then pull me around into that rotation. So the further away I go, the more I have to resist that rotation. So I would do 10 reps on both sides. So just to show you the other side, it'd be like this. So 10 reps on either side, and that is one set. Or you hold for say 15 to 30 seconds and then turn around and do the other side as well. This is a Pallof press. It's a great exercise for the anti-rotation. So those are some of the most common exercises I work through with my patients when I'm starting to build up their strength. Earlier in this video, I mentioned about the 3 phases. I have a free ebook which talks you through all of these phases and the steps that you need to go through in each phase. It's called the Recurring Back Pain Blueprint. So if you want to get hold of that free ebook, it's right here. You can scan the QR code, or you can go into the comments or the description and the link will be just there. All you need to do is put your email address in and I'll send it straight over. The next progression from here is going to be continuing on building the strength in the lower back, but we're going to add in more movement in each direction. So once you've done this for a period of time, say 2, 3, 4 weeks, depending on how well you feel you're progressing, then it's time to start adding in more movement through each of these planes. So we're going to start going into that in a future video. I'll also go into a video for strengthening the hips and glutes, hamstrings. If I tried to do that in this video, it would have taken way too long. If this video has been helpful and you think it deserves it, then please just give it a thumbs up, and that's it. That's all I ask. I'll see you in the next video, which will be this one right here.